We are Makilala TV, the first Filipino American TV talk show in the New York metro area. Get to know us as we talk to the community leaders, innovators, advocates, and emerging artists who affect Filipino American life.
Filipino Americans were once known as the invisible minority, but not anymore. It seems like everywhere we look, Philippines and the Filipinos are making headlines. So, what does it take to lead a strong immigrant community that has hundreds of organizations, diverse advocacies, and strong personalities? And to top it all, to be in a city that doesn't sleep. I'm Jen Fier in New York City with Christina DC Pastor and Rochelle Ocampo. Makilala TV at Manhattan Neighborhood Network begins right now. So first, let's welcome our guest co-host for today, who challenged all of us to be a part of a bigger movement. The president of Philippine American Friendship Committee, Ms. Letty Almadin. Letty, welcome back to Makilala.
Thank you for having me here today.
Thank you for being here. Now, our very special guest, a big supporter who helped launch Makilala TV. First, I have to pause because without this amazing visionary, I wouldn't be here. In fact, I met him 4 years ago today. It was the first time I stepped foot at the Philippine Embassy. That meeting gave me and my out-of-status family hope and courage. So let's give a warm welcome to the Philippine Consulate General of New York, Ambassador Mario Lopez de Leon Jr. Conjen, welcome to Makilala.
Thank you for inviting me here.
Yeah, it's actually
This is my first time here in the studio.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's a big schlep, too. So I think we're glad to be here. So to start, we have like a little quick question and answer, like nothing really deep like Christina would ask. Let's say in New York, like we have to pick Billy Joel's New York version or Taylor Swift, the song.
Oh, I don't know either, but Taylor Swift is fine.
Or Frank Sinatra's New York.
Frank Sinatra. Okay, when you wake up, like say in the middle of the night, and you have the munchies, and you're craving for food, what's the first thing that you would, what's the first restaurant you would call?
Restaurant?
Or what food are you gonna make? Or
It's always eggs.
always eggs. Okay. Okay. When you hear the word exercise, what comes to mind?
Gym.
Gym.
You go to a gym?
Yes, I go.
Wow, I didn't know
You
that.
see that?
Now you know. Now the
that.
community knows.
We're all gonna look for you in our local gym.
So when you're stranded in an island, who would you be happy with? Miss Universe or Miss World?
Miss World.
Ah, there you go.
I was thinking he would say Mrs. De Leon.
Okay, so going back, so Conjen, how does it feel? How does your family feel about being in the city all this time?
Oh, they really love it here. That's one thing I would say. This is the first time we live in the city, when I was assigned here in New York. Before, 20 years ago, we lived in the suburbs, so it was more of a suburban life. But this is the first time we're living in the city, and I'm starting to enjoy it as well.
When you meant suburbs, you mean New Jersey?
Yeah, we lived in New Jersey before.
That was during your first
And
posting.
even
there.
when we were based in London, we didn't exactly live in central London. It was in the suburbs.
How about Letty, what was your first interaction with Conjen?
It was actually 2011. The first time I saw him was it was PAFCOM's event. You gave a speech. It's a coronation event. The first time he's that's the first time I met you. But the thing that always I have in mind, my encounter with Conj is all those conversations about the community and his vision and where he wants to see the community in the future. So those are very interesting and engaging conversations. That's the thing that I'm gonna take with me.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You mentioned where Conjen wants to see the community.
Yes.
So Conjen, where do you want to see the community?
Well, I think right from day one, I've always said this, although maybe I said it in different words. First of all, we're a big community in the U.S. I know that, and I know for a fact that when I first arrived in New York, and I look at the roster of the organization, there were 400, and I said, my God,
Wow, that's a big number.
400 organizations. I mean, how can I meet all of them,
Yeah.
right? So I said to myself, after being out here for more than 15 years, going back, I wanted to see how, the community evolved. One of the first things that I realized is many of the old faces I saw before I still saw. Okay, so what changed? So that's the first question I asked.
Yeah, yeah.
Then the second thing I realized about the community is we still seem to do the same activities.
Which
I mean,
is
some are already mainstreaming, which is, of course, the usual dinner dance.
the socials.
And the
a lot of
socials are
yeah.
mostly among ourselves. We don't seem to reach out to other groups. We don't seem to, of course, engage more with the mainstream. Those were my first impressions. I might have been wrong at that time. But one thing that struck me is when I met the second generation group at the time, because they were one of the first to call on me also.
Oh, really?
Core was there.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
started talking about donating books to the libraries, Filipiniana books. Oh, that's great, I said. Then there was this other group, and they started talking about how the second generation would reconnect. It was more about reconnection, talking about their history, asserting their identity. So those were issues that were not the ones I faced 15 years ago when I'm talking about 2011, so
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
15. It's now I would say almost 20 years, right, at that time. So when I first went to PAFCON, that's one of the first things I said, that I want to see the community, to be more, I would say, visible. And I'm talking about the Filipino community, more visible in mainstream society. And secondly, what I wanted to tell them is, we should celebrate our successes as a community, because that's the only way that we could be known.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
We are a very talented, professional. We have Filipino. Not only Filipino, but family values. We are what you might call the ideal family
Yeah.
in the United States. So we have all of these ingredients. So we should be more visible.
I remember in one of your speeches, you said that the Filipino community is now nearly half millennial. And you said that was significant.
Yes, demographics.
Demographically,
Yeah,
right?
demographically, I think the community has also changed. I think that accounts for, the attrition that I mentioned. When I first arrived, there were about 400 community organizations. Now, when we tried to validate and vet all of these organizations, we found out so only about half. So what happened to the 200
Yeah,
others?
yeah.
I actually, when I was working with Unipro when they first started, we actually were able to try to get through that list, and through mailing, through phone numbers, almost none of them existed.
Oh, really?
Only a
That's
handful that we
Yeah.
actually were able to connect with.
So how many organizations do we have right now? About 200 plus?
That's the max,
That's
right?
the max.
I would say it's more than 100.
More than 100.
In fact, when we held the General Assembly the first time last year, 2015, we called on all of the organizations to participate. Of course, some couldn't come because I handle 10 states. You don't expect
Yeah,
Vermont to join or Maine, for that matter. But we had about 65 organizations represented. So that was
That's a big
I think
number,
you were
yeah.
there.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
You were there,
that's
about
right.
65. And I think we had about 67 this year when we had the second General Assembly. So I would safely say that maybe they account for about 40 to almost 50% of all existing organizations.
That's right, yeah.
So safely it's about 160 maybe. And there may be a few that we don't know exist. But sometimes they exist, when they start inviting you.
Yeah, that's right. So these 100 plus organizations, are these across the 10 states that you manage?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
They are
These are
across
not
the
just
10
New York,
states.
New Jersey.
Not
Okay.
just New York, New Jersey.
Perfect, yeah.
That's another thing I did. If I would like to really raise the visibility of Filipinos, I might as well be present in all of the states that are under my jurisdiction. Whether the organization is small or big, I attend as long as I have the time. So that's what I did. I mean, it's of course the abot ng kaya.
Yeah,
You know, you only have a weekend to spare, right, to reach out. But I was able to go as far as Vermont, New Hampshire,
Yeah.
Erie, in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, of course, Niagara.
Wow.
Does it get like tiring to go like to every event every single weekend?
Tiring and fattening.
I mean, you're right on that. But it's what keeps me going. Well, you know, I'd like to really thank my wife for always joining me. You know, she really helps me in keeping up with all of this busy schedule that I have. You know, sometimes I have about 3 events. Like today,
in
I
one
have 2
day.
events. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, God. Are there organizations, have you met an organization that has not reached out to the consulate at all? They think they can survive without connecting with you.
There are.
There are?
There are.
Do they do that on purpose because they
Yeah.
just had a bad experience with the consulate,
Or
or just
are they being
don't know.
activist oriented? They don't want anything to do with the Philippine government? What is the reasoning behind that?
Yeah, maybe a lot of reasons, but sometimes what I feel is they don't know anybody in the consulate. You know, we Filipinos, we tend to find a third party to introduce us, you know, because maybe they feel that, you know, we're so high up there, we cannot be approachable.
That's true
But-
though. I didn't
That's
go to
true.
the consulate until like I had, you know,
Until you met somebody in the
until somebody
community.
said you should go.
That's actually similar to the student organizations. When I would go to the student organizations in the Filipino community, a lot of them were like, "Oh, you had an event at the Philippine consulate?" I was like, "Yeah, all the time."
They think that you're such a big shot that you
I was
were
like, "No, they are so engaging. They
right.
really want to be involved. They just don't know
Yeah, yeah.
what platforms."
So is there a disconnect somewhere? Like they don't know how to?
Yeah, they're so in their own little college world.
Yeah, that's true. In fact, one of the first things we did, and of course, I just like to say that I did it as early as 2012. Just we came out with this idea of be connected, right? So we started using Facebook, Twitter. We revamped our website to make it more attractive. But that was not enough, you know.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
One thing I realized is you should have more friends. So, you know. So what I did is I made use of my own personal Facebook page a lot.
Yeah.
So if people, even if I don't know them, if they say that they want to befriend me, as long
You just
as
accept them.
I accept most of the
Most
time.
of the time.
That's what I did. So I think I have almost about 2,000 friends
Wow.
already. So whenever
Way to
I
brag.
no, I'm not
Yeah,
bragging
no,
about
no,
it.
I'm
It's just that I wanted to say
You
that.
can now endorse a product, you know.
Yeah.
So whenever I come out with an announcement there, it reaches many people.
It does.
No, but
Yeah.
you
And you're
became
more
too
approachable.
You became too famous. Someone tried to.
Yeah,
to
someone, yeah.
created an
Ah,
account
hack,
with your
right.
name.
You were hacked, yeah.
That was fun.
They created
That's when you know you
they
got it.
cloned you,
thing.
right? They cloned you.
They told me. Yeah, that's true. But
Did you ever get to the bottom of that? Did you find out who did that?
yeah, someone did. It was
that's
somebody
good.
from. No, you'll be surprised. It was
How
somebody
did that
happen?
from the Philippines. No, from
Why
the
did he do
Philippines.
that?
Philippines.
And why would he do that? Do you know who, exactly who the person is?
Because he wanted to have 2,000 plus friends.
I know he wants to be like Conjure.
No, it was supposed to be.
Is it a malicious act?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, trying to solicit funds from abroad.
Oh my
I heard of that.
gosh,
Yeah, yes.
it's
Using
a
my
lot
name.
more serious.
So you
Yeah,
gotta
using
watch
my
out.
name.
Make sure you double
Yeah,
check
that's
that.
why I'm a little careful now. I change my password every now and
Yeah.
then.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But one I would say Facebook has done a lot. In fact, even classmates I haven't met in
Yeah.
40 years. You know, I first saw them, of course, because of Facebook.
That's true.
Yeah, Facebook has a lot of pros and positive things in it. I mean,
And
it's all
Conjure-
up to you.
And Conjure is kind of active, you know, you would find the time to like every now and then. Like,
You know,
why would Conjure like it? Why would Conjure greet me a happy birthday? Anyway, thank you so much.
That's the least I can do for them, you know?
If we have so many initiatives. You have the build a project shelter,
Build a shelter.
Build a
Build a
shelter
shelter, yeah.
project. You have the warden system. What is your like favorite? If you say favorite, it's like you take like pride that you started it.
I don't have really a favorite, but let me go to the warden system. I started the warden system because I tried to look at the Filipino communities in my 10-state jurisdiction in a very different way. I tend to look to them more in terms of where do they converge? I mean, more in a social setting. Like, the community in Bronx and in Greenwich, Connecticut, and maybe Westchester, they tend to congregate more among themselves rather than deal with New York
Right.
City or Manhattan.
Well, it's
for that matter.
convenience.
It's because
Yeah.
proximity,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're proximate to each other, you
Yeah,
tend to
yeah.
congregate among each other, right? Just the same with the Long Island, Nassau, and Suffolk County.
I thought I was the only Filipino in
Yeah.
Long Island.
Yeah. Yes, sometimes
And then I
get
found out about
lost,
the
right?
warden system. I was like,
Yeah.
there's other Filipinos here.
You're the only Filipino in Long Island who comes to Manhattan.
Yes, I look at it that way. And one thing, this is something very surprising. Vermont, I thought that they would tend to congregate more with New Hampshire. No, they tend to congregate more with upstate New York. Why?
Why?
Because there is a lake, Lake Champlain, which is not
beautiful.
so well known among Filipinos.
Yeah,
you
that's
can take the
beautiful.
ferry and
Right.
cross from Vermont
We do
to
it
upstate
every-
New York. And there tend to be a lot of interaction of Filipino communities there, which we don't know, not unless I went there.
Interesting. Huh?
So,
Hindi na
so
tayo
what I'm
Filipinos
saying
sa
is we
Vermont.
tend to congregate based on proximity
Yeah.
and what I call geographic. That's why I found the warden system really, I think, a very effective tool. In fact, I dealt with some of the political advocacy and social advocacy groups. I told them that's the way to reach out to the community. You don't do it by states, Sometimes we tend to do it by states, simply because I'm from New Jersey. In fact, even New Jersey, Southern New Jersey and Philadelphia, they tend to congregate.
Yeah.
That's right.
And the ones from Philadelphia, most likely they won't deal so much with the Harrisburg Filipinos or the Pittsburgh Filipinos. Now, one thing I also realized about Pittsburgh, simply because my jurisdiction ends in Pennsylvania, they tend to deal more with Cleveland, which is in Ohio, because it's only about 2 hours
Yeah,
away,
yeah.
right?
But that's out of your jurisdiction.
It's out of
right?
my
Yeah,
jurisdiction.
yeah.
So, with the warden system, the build-a-shelter, I wanted to actually ask you more about second gen and your new experiences with the second gen and how you've been able to engage with them, because it's so hard to tap into that population.
Yeah, it's so hard. Number one, it's so hard
Sorry.
simply because we wanted to really target the young professionals. And, this is something that we discussed with Ambassador Quisha and all the other consuls general. We felt that we needed a nationwide program. And thanks to Ambassador Quisha and Mrs. Quisha, they were the ones who started PhilPro. And you're part of it, right? So we did a selection process, 10 of them, because that's what the budget can only bear, across the U.S., including Guam, right?
Yes.
So we already have about 40 alumni.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
expect them to be the ones who continue the tradition. I think you're part of it, and to have legacy projects. So that was one way of really reaching out in a big way with the young prof. Now, when it came to those who are in college, it was a little easier because you have FINE, right?
Yes, Filipino Intercollegiate Network.
That's
Yeah,
what we
that's
did.
right.
So we participated in FINE in Drexel University, in Harvard. That's what I did. I spoke there. I mean, just to tell them that we have activities in the consulate where if they're interested, they could join. Another thing we did is we participated in some of their events like Battle of the Barrios, and at the same
And
time,
you also had the leadership seminar.
right?
management
I'll be
seminar.
going to that.
We don't have
we
too
don't
much
have
time.
enough
That's why.
Time flies as always.
I know. You're about to end
Believe
already.
it's already time. Can't just wish you all the best. Oh my God, we could have extended this another hour or so. Part two. We're really gonna miss you in all the things that you do for us, and any final words,
Yes.
parting words for the community.
Well, one thing I want to say is I'm really very proud of the community here. They've been very cooperative. They've been very open to most of my initiatives, because one of my approaches always to try to solidify them more through activities that I think they really believe in, right? So it was more through activities rather than through organizations.
That's
I mean,
true. Yeah.
That's how I really strongly felt about it. If we go together, work together
Yeah.
in one activity which we all believe in, then I think we will be more visible as a community.
That's true. I agree.
How about you, Letty? Want to say?
Well, definitely gonna miss you. I learned so much with listening all your speeches, and the one thing that I learned is make our community visible to the mainstream, connecting our community to the mainstream. Being visible, we gain respect. Once we gain respect, then they start listening to us. That's one thing that, and I use that for,
I
whatever
feel like
I
singing
do.
Aretha Franklin. R-E-S-P-C-T.
Yeah. So thank you so much.
R-E-S-P-C-T.
Thank you
That's a
so
song.
much.
Thank you, Conjure.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you so
Conjure.
much
And thanks for
giving me
thanks
the
for
time.
coming down to MNN for
Yes.
Yeah, thank
for
you.
Makilala show.
And I wish I could ask you, what's your dream job?
What's
If
next?
we have time, what's next?
What's next for
Briefly
you,
say it,
Conjure?
like in 10 seconds.
Well, what's next is, of course, I'll have to go back to Manila. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what position they will still give to me. Unfortunately, I'm going back at a time where there will be a change in administration.
That's right.
I don't even know who the next Secretary of Foreign Affairs is, so I'll just take it when I arrive there.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. And that will be another 2 years, right? Or another 4 years?
Just 1 year, because
just 1 year.
I'll be retiring already by 2017.
Oh,
Now, if
early.
they decide to give me another position, which can be regardless of your age, then I'm in a political position.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
so again-
ambassador to
Yeah.
Washington.
All right. So now we reached the max. We wish you the best, and we'll sure miss you, Conjan.
Yes.
And we have a little surprise. Thank you so much for gracing our show. And by the way, we found out from a very good source that you have a favorite song. So we searched the pool of talented artists, and we have Liza and Jerome. They're both performing at Kuladesma's concert on March 1. They both have great stories. Liza came here with $100 in her pocket, and now she's like a doctorate in physical therapy and into health and fitness, which is like me, but I don't know how to sing, so that's where we separate. And Jerome, who's been singing since he was 12 years old, the last along us. So here to sing Endless Love. Take it away, Annalisa and Jerome.
My love, there's only you in my life, the only thing that's right.
My first love, your every breath that I take, your every step I make.
And I want to share
All my love with you. No one else will do. And your eyes, they tell me how much you care. Oh, yes, you will always be my endless love. Two hearts that beat as one. Our lives had just begun. Forever, I'll hold you close in my arms. I can't resist your charms. And love, I'll be the fool for you, I'm sure. You will know I don't mind.
No, you know I don't mind, 'cause
yes,
you mean the world to me. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, love, I'll be the fool for you, I'm sure.
You know I don't mind.
No, you know I don't mind, 'cause yes, you mean the world to me. 'Cause no one can deny this love I have inside. I'll give it all to you, my love, my love, my love, my endless love.
Thank you so much. We would like to invite you to watch Kulidesma here in New York this May 1st at 7 p.m. in Sheraton LaGuardia Grand Ballroom in Flushing, New York. See you there.